everyone, what is good? Welcome back to the channel. This is Silver Hyena, and if you saw the hot mess that was my first video, well then you know what's going on here, that during the editing process it was just becoming much too long, so I decided to split it into two parts. Anyways, let us carry on. Enjoy! Alrighty, so let us see. Primary colors, blue, yellow, and red. So, let's see here. Hopefully I can get enough of this blue that hasn't been infested with purple, because these things are leaking into each other and it is driving me insane. So, while I do love this cerulean blue, I'm gonna mix it with what? Prussian, I think is how you pronounce it. Prussian blue. Because while I like both of these blues, I'm just actually trying to get like the most generic blue shade possible, seeing if that even is possible. So maybe I will add a little bit of this purple in there to darken it a bit, and hopefully it doesn't become too dark, which I think, oh wait a minute, that might have worked. Because this looks, okay, well, like, let's see what it looks like on the paper. Okay, because that looks like a nice generic blue. Like when you just think blue. Like that seems nice and generic to me. Although it's not nearly, it's darker than the reference picture I'm looking at though. So I want to see if I can manage to get something a bit brighter. I'm just wondering how I'm gonna do that. Because as I said earlier, like the whole science of color theory, this, that, the other thing, that is not my strong suit. I'm more of a, I look and go, oh, that's a pretty color, let's roll with it. So, let's see here. Let's add a little bit of white. Well, I like this. Again, it's a little bit too pastel than what I'm looking for. I'm not getting quite that really vibrant, bright blue. Of course, let's try. And I don't know why I thought this would be a good idea. I'm not trying to make purple here. Although just because I want to oh, that would be a great blood red, actually. And talking about someone who sometimes does horror-themed art, as Bob Ross says, happy accidents! Okay, even though I know that that's not what we're trying to do here, but I'm glad I figured that one out. Yeah, this is giving me a lot more trouble than I thought it would. So, the whole, is it easy to mix up primary colors with these particular gouaches? For me, yeah. Okay. So I'm adding more cerulean to this again. Yeah, like, I am just not having an easy time coming up with a nice generic primary blue. Now then, I like the two blues that come in this set just fine the way they are, personally, so. Now I just want to see what this one looks like. Okay, yeah, it's like I like the color, but again, it's way too dark than what I'm trying to get. Well, let's see what this will do. I'm just gonna try adding a bit of green. Okay, well, while that's a lovely earthy tone, can't really call it blue anymore. Nope, that is definitely a green, a very blue tinted green, but definitely a green. I think that my first mixture was the most successful, even though I can see some purple peeking out of that now. I'm just gonna try that mix again, but this time I'm gonna add, oh wait a minute, no, if I mix in yellow then I'm just gonna get green. Oy. And when I add white it just gets too pastel. So I'm just gonna dilute it down with water. And see what I get. Well, it is a lovely blue, but it's not what I would call the generic primary color wheel blue. Okay, so before I put my fist through the wall, out of frustration, I'm gonna test out how easy it would be to, say, get the yellow to cooperate, and there I go turning it green because all this did not come out of my paintbrush. Okay, so this is the lemon yellow, just straight up lemon yellow as it comes out of the package. And I have to say that it is pretty dang close already to just being the generic primary yellow. So I have to say that in my opinion, this one just comes out of the tube perfectly primary, if you ask me. However, since we are experimenting today, I'm gonna mix in a little bit of that yellow ochre with the lemon yellow, just to see if maybe darkening it up a bit makes it even more generic primary yellow, or if I should have just left it alone as is. However, I will say though that I do like the slightly darker color. Don't get me wrong, I like the nice bright. So this is the lemon yellow combined with some yellow ochre, and I have to say that I do like it. Although based on what I'm looking at, the lemon yellow as is looks like a perfect primary yellow if you ask me. And now let's try red before I decide whether or not I want to go back to the blue or just consider the blue a loss. Alright, so the reds that we get, this was the generic Vermilion, which is kind of a slightly orangey red, which, I mean, like, it looks like a pretty nice generic red if you ask me. And then we've got this Crimson, which is probably one of my favorite reds. I love Crimson. Yeah, I mean, like, those are both obviously red, but let's see what happens when you mix them. Like, that is a very nice rich color, I'll say. I do like it. And mixing the Vermilion and the Crimson, it does get a little bit closer to the generic red you see on a color wheel, or like you look up a chart of primary colors, that does look a bit closer. Because this one, the Vermilion, it's starting to dull a little bit as it dries. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna go back to the blue just to see if I can do this because it is driving me nuts. I do want to see if I can get something that just looks a little bit brighter. Just a really small amount of white. Smaller than what I used the first time. Okay, I do think that while it's not a perfect match, I am getting a bit closer. Okay, this one I added in a bit more white to the mix. And this one has a little bit more of that Prussian blue. And oh, that one's coming a lot closer. Okay, so my overall conclusion, if you want a nice generic primary yellow, the lemon yellow, it's already there. I mean, like, you can mix it with a little bit of yellow ochre to darken it up a bit, but if you just want like the most generic yellow imaginable, it just comes out of the tube already. A little bit of the Vermilion and Crimson red, just mix those bad boys up and you've got a nice, safe, generic primary red, in my opinion. And mixing up a safe, generic primary blue with this particular set of gouaches, at least to me, is a real pain in the butt. But again, this isn't something that is my usual thing. Like, I made full disclosure, that is not my usual thing. I'm more of a just do what comes to me as it comes to me, and heck with the rules. That's more my style. So, since I've got all these gouaches out anyway, I think that I know what my next video is going to consist of. Anyways, I certainly hope that you all enjoyed this video, and I hope that it helped you out in some way. If it did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to see me do more of these sorts of videos, just because, well, I'll be honest, it's not my forte, please post in the comments below. Like I've said in previous videos, I enjoy banging my head against a brick wall for your entertainment. And with that being said, this is Silver Hyena, signing off, and I hope that we have all learned something from this video today. What that is, I don't know, other than maybe while you wait for paint to dry, clean up the frickin' dishes. Anyways, stay creative, everybody. This is Silver Hyena, signing off. Bye!